So I have 3 games on at once that I'm watching. Arsenal scoring 5 goals versus Bolton. Liverpool scoring 5 goals versus West Ham. And United having an awful 1-1 draw with FC20. Not an enjoyable night for me, but I'm here to report on the Liverpool game because I have to say, Diaz and Gakpo, who are you going to start on the left wing? Because both of them have been crazy, and it is annoying because Liverpool are in this position where, oh, this guy's brilliant, but only one of them can play, and it's really annoying. And you were unbelievable against West Ham, obviously conceded an early goal, and then responded to that well. Gakpo running the show, Jota clinical. The guy, when it comes to clinicalness, that's what he does. Salah comes off the bench and scores. Thought Curtis Jones had a good game. Kelleher proving he's one of the best second goalkeepers in the world. And Liverpool's attack needs to be stopped, guys. I'm saying this now. Liverpool's attack has been insane this year because I feel like last year they weren't clinical. Like they were creating all those chances and they weren't putting it in the back of the net. I remember the 2-2 draw at Old Trafford when we took a point off you in the title race, but you kept shooting and like having chances, but you weren't putting them away. And this year you seem to be more confident, more clinical. Gakpo, obviously Luis Diaz, the output from him's been unreal. He didn't play, obviously. Gakpo played today, and we're going to talk about him. But Liverpool's attack is in form. I'm going to talk about Chiesa. Very good debut from him as well. Showed some bright spots. Nunes, I thought was having a decent game as well. And Liverpool look threatening. I think you've scored the most goals in the league. I think you've conceded the least amount of goals in the league. I think your goal difference is the best. You've looked really good going forward. You've looked really fluid, and you have abundance of options. And to think you missed out on Anthony Gordon, well, you don't really miss him. And I think he's been okay for Newcastle, but Harvey Barnes has been the star winger at Newcastle. I look at Liverpool, and I think more than Anthony Gordon, you want a long-term left centre-back, but a long-term Robertson replacement, and another midfielder for depth. That's what I think Liverpool need. And then you look at the wings, But if the wingers stay in this kind of form, you don't need to. But what was interesting, and what I pointed out about Liverpool, and I do want to talk about Cody Gakpo and Jota and Curtis Jones and Chiesa in a minute. I'm going to talk about each of their performances and my opinion on it. But what I thought was interesting is rotation in Liverpool still won. The big question around Arne Slot is he's not really rotated. There's not been rotation around Arne Slot. There's not been rotation around Liverpool. He needs to rotate more. Gravenberg's been brilliant, but he needs to rest. And how will Liverpool fend when they need to rotate? Now, let's be honest, West Ham haven't been great this season, despite having a transfer window that was probably 100 times better than Liverpool's on paper. Lopetegui, he's not had them playing well. They've conceded the most shots. They've been one of the worst-looking teams in the league, and Chelsea tore them apart the other day. That being said, Liverpool go in with pretty much a fully rotated squad, bar Nunes that started the last game, and I think Kelleher did because Alisson was out. And Liverpool were fantastic. They scored 5 goals. They were all over West Ham, and you can only beat what's in front of you. And West Ham are a Premier League level opposition. It's not like you're playing Barnsley, but we did beat Barnsley 7-0, which I think is a great result. I think if you beat Barnsley 1-0, but if you beat Barnsley 7-0, great result. It was a very good performance from Liverpool, but it was Slot rotating. The big question is, Slot's going to need to rotate, and will these players be up to scratch? Will they be ready because they've not played much before? Because the games are going to come thick and fast. There's going to be 2 games a week, and I think that spell for after the October international break going to Christmas is going to be really difficult for Liverpool, which I think Slot's done well now, but that's when you can judge how well he's done it in that period. But I thought the rotation looked really good. Harvey Elliott, obviously, I think will thrive in Slot system when he comes in. But Endo and Curtis Jones did well, Jota being Jota, but it's Diaz and Gakpo. Who are you going to play in the next game? They've both been unreal. So, let me give you some general thoughts as well. Gakpo versus Diaz, it's like they're competing with each other, who can be better. Like, Slot's got in a very good position there. Jota was good. I thought Chiesa was good. He was bright. I think they could have got the ball to him more in the first half down the right side, but he was bright. Salah being Salah, comes on, gets a goal. Jones, I thought the assist was fantastic. The passing was fantastic. And I think Curtis Jones, he has been inconsistent for Liverpool. And sometimes I watch him and I'm like, sometimes I watch him like, yeah. But I think the profile of play and what Curtis Jones brings to Liverpool, I think is underrated because he gets a lot of stick, a lot of hate. But I think the profile of player that Curtis Jones is then underrated. I thought Kelleher was fantastic. I think he would start for certain Premier League clubs. You know how Martinez left Arsenal and then started for Villa? I think Kelleher could start for Premier League clubs. He always impresses me when I see him. And I think he wanted to leave because he wanted to be a first-team keeper in the summer. And I'm surprised that no club really made bids for him. I think that would have been a good opportunity there. Nunes, I thought his work rate and movement was brilliant. He got the assist. He didn't get a goal today, but I think his movement and drawing out defenders, creating space is always really good. His work rate, you cannot question it. Salah, obviously good. Thought defence did well, especially as they haven't played together yet. I think Tsimikas looks like a bit of a weak spot, but he was fine. And rotation, he still did well. Endo looks solid as well. Considering Joe Gomez, Endo, they haven't really had the minutes. they done well as well. But the standout was Cody Gakpo. 2 goals, 94% pass accuracy, 3 chances created, 100% dribble success, 2 out of 2, and 3 out of 3 long balls. Everything he was doing was coming off. 2 goals, 3 chances created, take on this man, his passing, his movement, it was coming off. He has 6 goal contributions in the last 5 starts for Liverpool. He did end last season quite well because it took Klopp like a full year to start playing him on the left. And I've said this so many times because I wanted Cody Gakpo at Man United, and when Liverpool signed him in that December a couple of years ago, I was fuming. I made a rant video on my Man United channel, I think, or a live stream. I ranted about it. I was fuming. I wanted Cody Gakpo at United. And then people were saying after a year, did United get lucky? He's been all right at Liverpool. But I said that's because Klopp was using him in the middle. Cody Gakpo is a winger. He's always been a winger. He was always meant to be used on the wing. And that's my biggest criticism of Klopp. He misprofiled Gakpo so much because you put Gakpo on the wing, you look at him for the Netherlands, you look at him under Slot, and you're seeing him at his best. He's a like Rashford. Rashford, when he plays in the middle, he doesn't convince me. Rashford, when he plays out wide, depends what form he's in. Sometimes he's a 2 out of 10, sometimes he's a 10 out of 10. But Marcus Rashford was our best player versus FC20. He completed 5 out of 5 dribbles. I created like 4 chances. Rashford's a different player out wide, and I feel like that with Gakpo. 4 goals, 2 assists, completed 100% of his dribbles versus West Ham tonight. And I think Gakpo on the wing is a different player. He carries the ball, he can use his power, he can dribble out wide. The mad thing about Gakpo is I think he's 6'1" or 6'2". And that's why I compare him to Rashford and Liao because of the height and the speed and the pace. But he moves like a 5'9" agile player, the way he can weave in and out of players. But because of his pace, because of his pure athleticism and the aggressiveness in him to just want to get forward and make things happen, he can dribble with such power. And when he's dribbling at you with power, taking on his man, that's when he's threatening. And then when he can get the opportunity to cut in and shoot because his ball striking is insane, that's when he's going to cause you problems. His mobility, his pace, his power, and his ability to cut in is pretty impressive. I think with him, he suits slot ball because not only is he an elite athlete, fast, long stride, powerful, he's suited to the Premier League, but he's an aggressive player, he's an aggressive presser. He can be a transitional threat because he's got the speed in behind, but also he can be a creative threat. He can create, and he's shown that in the past. And I think he's someone that likes to attack, likes to run in behind, likes to make things happen. And once you get him in his best areas, he can be lethal. He has the output. I can't remember what his numbers were, but his numbers at PSV before he joined Liverpool were insane numbers for an Eredivisie player. And I saw someone say this: shot power, finesse, speed, touch, both-footed, aerial ability, playmaking, close control, crossing and finishing. Gakpo has it all. And there's a really good player in Gakpo. And I don't think he was used to the best of his abilities under Klopp. And if Slot can unlock this, I think Luis Diaz goes on the bench. And he's probably been your best player at the start of the season. But I think Gakpo can actually go another level beyond Luis Diaz, which is crazy because Luis Diaz has been insane. So let's continue on. Let's talk about Liverpool. 7 games played, 6 wins, 18 goals scored, 3 conceded. That's an unreal start from Arne Slot. I am jealous. This is Ten Hag's 3rd season. It wasn't good versus FC20. I believe in the process-ish, and I think we've got some good players at United, and I'm happy with the signing of Xerxes and Masraoui and De Ligt and all of that. But yeah, it's just annoying. Ten Hag's in his 3rd season, Slot's been in. Obviously, Slot inherited a much better squad with much more stability around it. But after 7 games, 6 wins, 18 goals scored, 3 conceded, rotated, winning. Other than the Forest game and the first 45 minutes versus Ipswich, they've looked good. They've been unreal in pre-season. Slot adapted after 10 minutes versus Milan. He adapted after Ipswich when Liverpool weren't on top to then quickly get back on top. They're scoring on average like 3 goals a game nearly. They keep scoring. Their attack needs to be stopped, and they're barely conceding in it. They conceded an own goal today. It is so annoying. But let's continue on. I rate Curtis Jones, but I think he's the most slandered Liverpool player online. He's inconsistent, but the profile I rate and I wanted for England, I would have called him up for the Euros if he was about. I think he's composed on the ball, and that's where he stands out. And I think he's misprofiled a lot, but he's a retention specialist. He can carry the ball well, brings control. He gives 100%. He's someone that is going to give 100%, that is going to retain the ball, that's going to keep the ball and help the tempo tick and the dynamic. Today he had a really good game. He needs to get up to scratch. He probably needs to run a game to get up to scratch. But 2 out of 2 dribbles, made the most passes into the final third 6. I think he really helps Liverpool in the build-up phase, and I think that people don't understand what he brings. I think sometimes you can watch him and you can't, he's like, but I think he brings a lot more than he gets credit for. I like him as a profiler player. I said I would have taken him at United in the summer, and I don't hold back on that. And I know it's the player that most Liverpool fans want to sell and don't like, and Man United fans were like that with McTominay. Then he goes to Napoli and he's balling out, and I think there's a good player in McTominay, but it just wasn't quite working. But there's a good profile there. I like the profile that Curtis Jones is, and I thought his final ball was really good today. I think he's a retention specialist. I thought Chiesa had a promising debut, 1 assist, 2 recoveries, 2 duels won, 2 passes into the final third, 2 chances created, looked sharp, looked eager to get on the ball, make things happen. I think he was good. I think he shows the deadly pace he has on the counter-attack. He looked very sharp on the ball, looked quick, was able to find spaces. There was a couple of times where just in space where I thought Liverpool need to release the ball to him a lot quicker, but, was causing problems. And he's someone that likes to go wide, likes to go inside, can drift over to the left. His movement was good. I thought he looked promising. Before I talk about Diogo Jota, I just want to say, and I'm going to put a link in the description and pin it in the comments if I remember, but I have been nominated for 3 awards at the Football Content Awards. I've been nominated for Best in Video Curators, me. I've also been nominated for Best Club Content Creator, Alice Talks Football. It will either be under Alice Abrahams, ECILA Football, and Alice Talks Football. And then I've also been nominated for Best Influencer, which will be under Alice Abrahams. So if you could go ahead and vote me in the Football Content Awards, that would be amazing. There's some crazy competition, like Fabrizio Romano on one of the awards. So I don't think I'm going to win, but if you can go and vote for me, it'll be www.footballcontentawards/voting. I will put a link in the description. It would be amazing and mean so much to me. But let's talk about Jota. 2 box touches, 2 shots, 2 goals. He's now scored 6 goals in his last 9 Carabao Cup games for Liverpool. He's efficient. Jota, I didn't think had the best game versus Forest and Milan. Got dropped, came back, said, "Don't drop me, boss. I'm clinical. I make things happen." And Jota showed that today. So fair play to Jota. I think he's a likeable player. Even as a United fan, I think he's just a guy. He gets injured a bit. Sometimes I think he needs to be dropped here and there, but you give him the chances. He's clinical. Thank you for watching. Bye.